Well, welcome all of you. Thanks for joining me for this first of this podcast. Very excited to finally have it out there in the ether, in the podcast world for someone to pick up and listen to. Oh dear God, please will someone listen to it. I don't think I can handle a small viewership after all the effort I've put into buying all the equipment. Let me tell you, getting started on a podcast is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. A lot of pitfalls came in the way. Anyway, that's not why you tuned in. You tuned in because you have some interest in either myself or the guests that I have on here. So let me tell you a little bit more about what this podcast is and who we'll be talking to. So this podcast is very much the brainchild of years of working in the movie and stunt industry and being kind of blown away by how many interesting people I come across on a daily basis while I work on set. People seem to come from all walks of life, and it's quite interesting to hear them talk, hear their views, and just, sometimes hear them talk about how they even got to this position where they don't work a normal job. It is a very interesting industry for that reason. I also found that the people that spend a lot of time on set have a real ability to tell a story very, very well, humorously, and also they can drag out a very short story over a long period of time, which I thought is perfect on a podcast. And I've enjoyed listening to these people over the last 7 years of my work in the stunt community. And I trust that you will find it just as entertaining, whether you're someone who works in the industry or someone who's completely separate to it. I will say off the bat, though, this podcast is not meant to just be about stunts. There will be a lot of stunt people that come on here, but we won't just talk about the stunt world, although no doubt it will come up quite a bit. We will mainly be talking about whatever's of interest and wherever the conversation goes. So if you're someone who wants to hear a lot about stunts and only about stunts, this isn't the one for you. I'm sure there's other ones out there. If you want to hear about the interesting people that work in that world, then yeah, this is a good place to start. And like I said, I'll be bringing on people from all walks of life, not just stunts. So don't get angry at me if someone's on here that isn't a stuntman or someone related to the movie industry. Anyway, this is the first of the podcast. We talked to my man, Paul Lowe, who is just such an interesting fellow. Small in stature, but not in personality. And we touch on both of those things through the next hour and a half. So please introduce my first guest, Paul Lowe, a man who has been working on so many different movies over the last 19 years in his work. Star Wars, Thor Ragnarok, Batman Begins, Game of Thrones, and most recently, Dumbo. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Getting Down with Doug. Recording in 3, 2. Welcome everyone. This is the first of the podcasts of a podcast I don't even have the name of yet. So anyone who's got any good ideas of what we're going to call this podcast, please do get in touch. I want to introduce my first guest. I'm very excited to have this guy on. Paul Lowe, a fellow stuntman and all-round legend, as he tells me. Paul, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
I've just got a nice introduction then. So Paul Lowe, I've been a professional stuntman for 17 years. I'm from Liverpool, as you can tell from my lovely accent.
What accent?
Exactly. And I've known Doug through my work. And he said, because I'm such a legend, apparently, that he'd like me to be the first guest on a podcast that's got no name. Maybe that's what this should be called, podcast with
no name. It's not bad. I mean, the other suggestions have been DRE. Doug Robson Experience, which is just a pure ripoff of Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
But then I thought it could be called Still DRE, which is like still about Dre. Okay, that look on my face tells me. Look at your teeth. Paul, nice, your teeth look so good.
That's what Invisalign. I've just been a dentist today as well.
Man,
it's Invisalign. Yeah,
look, you had a little bit of a nightmare with that though, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah, but Invisalign and then some bonding. Finally, at 37 years old, I've got nice teeth.
It's funny.
You've got a nice smile as well.
A nice little segue into my teeth, which are also very nice.
Let's talk about Doug.
No, but my teeth, I'm still doing them. I actually have them out now, but I had the 12 extra weeks. Then he's given me another 12 extra weeks. He's just like, look, if you want to get them good, you can have them just good or you can have them perfect. And I was like, fuck, we've come along this way.
Yeah. Are you allowed to swear on this, by the way? Because you nearly just swore.
I know. And then I stopped myself. But yes, wait. You wait until later. I've got something a little prepared for you.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to be don't just say it for anything, mate.
Okay, I didn't.
Just
I was trying to
say it if you
emphasize,
need to say it.
Yeah, okay.
Don't
Sorry.
you use it as an expletive to fill the gap.
Oh.
That's right. I've been working on a few words myself. No, you can say what you want. I really want that to be what this is about. I haven't really decided the direction I want to go. I am interested in having a lot of people on here, though.
Yeah.
But even people that you don't necessarily think would be a good idea, but I think that's the best idea, to have them on. Controversial figures.
Yeah, but I think having a range of people, it doesn't matter what it is. Even like you can speak to your friends who are not in any major industry. It's still interesting. People have life stories. Like, it's not...
And I think the art of conversation is dying because we have cell phones and TVs. And more than that, before with TV and radio, do you remember, I mean, if you've ever seen a depiction of people listening to radios, all gather around the radio, all listening together.
Yeah.
We used to do that with TV programs. There would be a TV program that comes out once a week.
Yeah.
Lost was a great example. And you would have to wait each week, and you'd talk about what was happening between the weeks, kind of like Thrones does.
Yeah.
Then you have Netflix that releases all of them all at once, which means you can watch them on your own time. If anyone's got a girlfriend or boyfriend that they told, they'll definitely only watch it with them.
I think podcast-wise, though, podcasts, a lot of people now listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
If I sit down and talk about podcasts that I listen to, most people have heard of them, or most people say, well, I don't listen to that, but I listen to this. Podcasts, like a lot of people actually will sit down, on a journey or whatever, but a lot of people listen to podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, it is the rise of this media, which is weird because this is quite an archaic media.
Yeah.
Radio is old.
Yeah.
It's where the people crave it, and I think they crave it exactly because we miss having conversations. We live quite insular lives now, so we feel like we're part of the conversation. When I listen to Joe Rogan, I feel like I'm part of the conversation. I feel like he's asking questions I want to hear, and I'm part of the conversation even though I'm not taking part.
Yeah, because he's like a normal guy. He's an intelligent guy, but a normal guy speaking to interesting people, and so he gets the interesting conversation. So if I was speaking to someone, a scientist, I'd be asking questions similar to the way he'd be asking questions.
There's a real problem. Kind of like if you ever been trained by someone who's very good at something that isn't necessarily a good teacher, like a gymnast that expects you to know gymnastics, like do the back somersault, just do this. Actually, a great example, Calvin telling a 10-year-old at Guildford Spectrum how to do a half-in back out, some ridiculous move.
Who's Calvin?
Calvin Heisman.
No. You said Calvin, like Calvin.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
like,
you're right.
He's like,
Okay, Calvin's another stunt friend of ours. He's also a legend, very interesting guy. We'll have him on here because his dyslexia won't get in the way of him talking.
Yes.
Interesting fellow. But yes, he's very visceral. He's in his body. So when this 10-year-old's like, oh, how do you do that? Calvin, no word of a lie, said, you just go up, hands touch around, you touch your left shoulder, look back, hands come in. And I saw this kid go, all right, I'll try that. And I had to stop him. I was like, look, no, it's not that easy. Like to him it is, but to you it's not going to be. And I've forgotten why we even came on to that. What are we talking about?
Everything.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
See, this is why I won't be smoking weed on my podcast because I find life hard enough as it is, and especially on that kind of stuff. So, Paul, before we segue too much in the generalities, which is a word, I'm sure, of podcasting, tell us about your career. How did you get into stunts? What's your story?
So, very early on, I was just interested in theatre. I went to see a show. And it was a pantomime, and I remember my dad was a docker, and every year the kids got taken out.
You say a doctor?
A docker. So we worked on the docks in Liverpool.
Oh, I see. That makes more sense.
Okay. And every year they got like tickets for something, and one of them was a pantomime. I went to see a pantomime in the Liverpool Empire, and I remember it was Mr. T playing the genie. And even
what?
Yeah, and it was starting the Seven Dwarfs, but anyway, and he was a genie, and I don't know why that was not, but it was just a way to get Mr. T into this. So I remember watching that as a kid and being like, wow, that's amazing. And then I was in school, and because I'd enjoyed it, they said, oh, we're going to do like a little talent show. Do you want to do a talent show? Long story short, I'd done that and I enjoyed it. And then when I went into senior school, they were doing like another talent competition. So I went in and done a song, Consider Yourself. I was probably awful, but I just had confidence. And then my music teacher, Mrs. Swift, she was like, oh, you've got like something there. You should go and do the National Youth Music Theatre. So I went and her daughter, Nikki Swift, was in that. So I went and auditioned. Then I just done shows with the National Youth Music Theatre. We went to like Edinburgh Festival a few times. We done like Horsham Arts Centre. We done all different things. Then through that, I got a part in Bugsy Malone, which eventually went to the West End. We were in the Queen's Theatre in the West End.
Get out here in London?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
So we done like a 4-month run at the Queen's Theatre.
How old are you at this point?
I was 16.
Okay.
So I had like a lead role in that, and then finished that, went home, auditioned, and got another West End show, Whistle Down the Wind, and that was at the Aldwych Theatre, and I'd done that for 2 years. And then I just sort of fell out of love with it because I was doing it for so long. And then there was an audition then for to be they were looking for a stuntman to double a little boy on a film called The Mummy Returns.
Mm-hmm.
And my agent just seen it and was like, "You should go for it because they want someone small." And I was like, "Well, I'm not crazy. I'm not. And shouldn't I just go and see what they say?" So I went and met Gary Powell, and lots of other stuff at the time. I auditioned and then got it. So I spent like 8 months, I think, on The Mummy Returns. And then people then, like Rob Inch, Riley Earlham, Dominic Priest, Franklin Henson, they were all saying, "Oh, you're small." Like, because I'm 4'8", obviously people can't say.
But I like that you make it sound like it was some sort of revelation. They were like, guys, have you noticed? He's small.
He's small. So because I'm little, obviously I could double for kids. And there was no one then around my size and shape who could do that. So they said, "Go away, do your training." So I went away.
And by training, you mean for the stunt register?
For the stunt register, to train to become a stuntman. So I went away, done my training to become a stuntman, and then got on. And I was just very fortunate, I guess, because I'm small and not, because that's not the reason why I work. I guess I am good at what I do. No. But it gave me a lot of opportunities because there were a lot of kids. So I just sort of been very lucky in my career that I've managed to work quite a lot, doubling kids, and had quite a varied career and worked with lots of different people. And
I think you, if I'm not mistaken, you doubling kids coming into the time when Harry Potter was filming. That must have helped out a lot, right? A lot of variety there to double.
So actually, the Harry Potter thing, I was supposed to be Harry Potter's stunt double. They were speaking about it back then, because I was basically on the Mummy Returns. He was a young boy, and Alex, the character name, and I was doubling him. Then Potter was getting filmed just after, and he was speaking about me doing it. Then I ended up not doing it. And David Holmes, a good friend of mine, he went on to double it, but it was around the same time. So then I didn't actually work on Potter. I worked on the number 3 Potter. I didn't actually work on Potter until near the end, but I was always busy doing other stuff.
Yeah, and were you pretty much flat out then? You go to the Mummy's Returns, and so often in this industry, it's exactly that, right? Once your name's in the hat, and if you're good, definitely a bonus.
Yeah.
But more than that, you just have to not be a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
That's the main, because there are a lot of people that are. Anyone that's worked on a movie that's seen the extras, know that within that collection of people that are interested in that world, there's a large proportion that cannot be left alone unsupervised, right? And you kind of show your bones by being good on set and being reliable.
Yeah.
And once that reputation goes ahead, and that's probably one of the biggest things in stunts, right? Is your reputation.
Yeah, it is. And also, see, I grew up obviously in Liverpool, and I had 3 brothers, and we were always we'd have fights and play fights, and I loved doing stuff like that. Even when I was doing theatre, I loved physical comedy, so that was my thing. I'm not saying I'm tough, but I love throwing myself around. So when it came to doing stunts, once I got accepted, I had £200 left in my bank.
Yeah.
So I basically earned a lot of money on the Mummy Returns, and then used that money to train, and then I got on the register and I had £200 left.
So you took that time out. So you do Mummy Returns.
Yeah.
You film that. They say go away because there's a lot of interest in you working.
Yeah.
What did you do your disciplines in? And for people that don't understand, the listening that maybe aren't of the stunt register, there's 6 disciplines. Was there 6 at that time?
6, yeah.
So the 6 disciplines you have to choose, which are 6 different sports. You have to reach a certain level in all those things. So you went off and did these things. Which ones did you do?
So I basically finished the Mummy Returns, and then I tried to get a normal job in an office, and done that for 2 months and hated it. Isn't it? And I was like, I can't do it. So my job was just training. So I done horse riding, scuba diving, Thai boxing, swimming, gymnastics, trampolining. So I went away to Tenerife for 3 weeks and done half of my scuba diving, and then basically I had a timetable which I found recently as well. But it was Monday I'd go off and do a private horse riding lesson, and then the evening I'd be doing Thai boxing, and then Tuesday I'd have trampolining, and it was just that was it. Every week it was just the same thing. Saturday I'd have stuff, and all my friends at that age were going out of a Saturday and getting drunk and doing all sorts, and I wasn't doing that. I sacrificed that to go and do my training, and it was quite hardcore because I was doing it all the time. So it took me 22 months from start to finish to get all my different sports.
And you had a background in these sports at all?
No, I had a little background in boxing because I'd done a bit of boxing. And I done a lot of sports when I was a kid, but all the sports I done was like football, hockey.
Yeah, obviously not.
Nothing. So I had to adapt myself, but I guess I was lucky because I was fit and I was strong, but I just wanted it. So I was doing a lot of private lessons, which then that's expensive. That's why
that racks up
I had
quick.
£200 in my bank. When I got accepted, I had £200 in my bank account, and then I got a phone call for a job. My first job on the register, which was Thunderbirds. With Paul Jennings. And my first job took me to the Seychelles for like 3 weeks. So my first job was in the Seychelles.
Jobs away, right? Yeah. Certain dream jobs away.
But going back to what you were saying, so because I was like that kid who I was quite tough, my whole thing was I wanted to show that I was tough. I wanted to do stunts. Like on that job, there was 3 main doubles, me, Andy Godbowl and Talila Craig.
So and when you say on this job, you mean with Jennings?
On Thunderbirds. So when we had a stunt to do, it was all 3 of us had to do it. So I'd always go, I'll do it first. I wanted to try and prove myself.
You want to show you're hungry too,
I'm hungry, but I wanted to show I was tough. Sounds silly, but I almost thought I was unbreakable. I wanted to get thrown around and just show that I was a good stuntman. And that's what not that I'm like this amazing talented stuntman, but I just wanted to be known as like,
because you're not.
Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to, neither are you. I wanted to prove to myself and to the guys who I'd work for on the Mummy Returns, like I wanted to show that I was tough and that I was a good stuntman, because that's what I thought you had to be. Which, like, you look at people nowadays, and the people get on nowadays who are really tough, but there's also other people who get on the register and they're not stuntmen. And it's all about the money and the whole being a stuntman rather than actually doing stunts, which is sad in a sense.
Well, also I think there's also a disconnect between it's not just being tough.
Yeah.
You can be tough. You can hit the ground as hard as you want. Yeah. It can still look shit.
You've got to get up and do it again.
You've got to get up. It's got to be repeatable.
Yeah.
For once, which I try to explain to people. And that same thing you were saying about, I'm not a maniac. That's that misnomer. Yeah, you can go ahead. You can move it around as you need. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, got.
I'm just moving my mic for anyone.
I'll have subtitles underneath.
Bit strange.
What am I saying? Subtitles. People are listening to it. So, the disconnect of people being, crazy people do stunts. No, because you're a liability on set if you're crazy.
Yeah, it's a science.
Yeah, and it should be. It should be something repeatable. I always say it's analogous to magic. Yeah. It's an illusion of danger. You're trying to make something appear as dangerous as possible while making it as safe as possible.
Yeah.
So there is that. In terms of the toughness, like say, something looking hard, sometimes that's required, but it's also got to look good.
Yeah.
And that's something that people forget sometimes too. They just want to fall over. The first thing I learned, I think, was by watching stunt guys, and when they were in a fight scene, they would get hit or their throat would be cut, and they wouldn't die straight away. They would be crawling around in agony. I was like, oh yeah, because they're trying to tell a story about what's just happened. But it's not just about dying.
But that's what it is. It's the acting side of it. It's like, going back to it. That's why I think for me, because I was an actor before, I guess I still want to be an actor now. It's the whole thing, but you're acting. So when you're doing it, you adapt yourself. You look at the actor you're doubling. You want to act like them. Mm-hmm. Whatever you're doing, whether it's running out in the middle of a road or being hit by a car, you've still got to act. Everything's about the acting. If you got to hit the floor, then you can act and make it look like it's really hard, rather than I'm just gonna smash myself. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing of it, and that's what you should learn as well. But a lot of people haven't got that. A lot of people don't know how to do that, like to put themselves into a scene and actually go, well, I'm gonna act this bit.
Yeah.
You can run into a wall, and you can do it real once. Or you can run into a wall and act it and do it 3 times. You're still hitting it, but there's a way to sell it.
Speaking of which, Will Willoughby in World War Z, you ever see his head? I mean, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't actually hit the wall,
yeah,
but it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It looks bone crunching.
But that's the science of it.
That's exactly it. And fair play to him, because he committed.
Yeah.
He wasn't sure. We'll get him on at some point. He was explaining they actually had to rehearse that on a floor below the floor above.
Oh,
if you know what I mean. Yeah, they didn't get to rehearse on that pillar.
Yeah.
So you assume the pillars are all in the same place anyway, but you don't know that, So when he went for it, he was like, cross fingers, here we go. But yeah, that's interesting. And Paul, getting back to your size, I mean, something you're well known for in the industry, because that's where you get your work from. Yeah. It's weird that our industry is like the most discriminatory around, because how you look is so important.
Yeah.
You wanting to prove you're tough, do you think that had a play in it at all? Growing up, tell us a little bit like your experience about being a smaller guy growing up, and when did you first notice you were smaller? Because at some point you would be the same height, I'm assuming.
So I was. I've been lucky really, because I know what you mean. And a while ago, I did a documentary for the BBC, which hit on that as well. I've got in my family, there's 6 of us, and my parents are small, and I've got 3 brothers, and only one is tall. John is like near 6 foot. So even when I was younger, I'd go home. Everyone was small. So for me, it wasn't like I was the outcast of my family. I was just little. Everyone was small, and because I was the youngest, so all my brothers obviously had friends. They'd all know me. So I was lucky in the sense that if I went to school, everyone sort of knew my family before they'd meet me, and then knew me. So it wasn't like I was the only guy who was little. I had brothers before me who were small. So you get people. I never got bullied, but I get people who sort of would take the piss, and I had fights and stuff with myself, and I guess that was maybe a reason why I didn't get bullied. Why I wasn't not a victim, but I wasn't in that, in that bracket of struggling. I didn't struggle at school for being small. I understand it's always been the case, and I'm looked at as being different, but I've always embraced it. Even when I was younger, for acting, I'm small. I'm not going to get taller, so you either got to love yourself or hate yourself.
Yeah, it's tough.
Even now, as I'm 37 years old, I'll walk somewhere. You'll still get idiots who look at you, but I just think to myself, I've had a very lucky life, and I've done a lot of things, and my size has helped me. So proving myself was never I'm going to prove myself because I'm small. I want to prove it. It was never that. I just wanted, because weirdly, I don't think of myself as small. I think of myself as the same height as everyone else. It's only when people point it out to me, or a little boy will walk past and go, "Look at that small man," I think, "Oh, actually, I'm."
You're like, "Who's he talking about?"
Yeah.
Oh, me.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
So when I became a stuntman, it wasn't like I'm going to prove him as tough as everyone else, because
You're way past that by that stage.
It was more, I just want to prove that I'm a tough guy, no matter that I'm tough compared to other people. I want to be as tough as them. So
it's more almost like a competition in your arena. You're you want to prove you're tough, because in stunts you need to be tough. I want to be counted amongst the top of these guys.
Yeah, boxing wise was different because I was little. Because I boxed amateur and then I turned professional. So boxing wise, that was more of I'm little and I want to prove to people that being small, I'm as tough as everyone else. That was one of them.
Yeah, and tell us about that, Paul, because that's something. I was actually at breakfast this morning with Tom Rogers, and he was talking about the fact that you were a pro, right?
Yeah, I was a pro for a while.
Were you the smallest pro at the time?
Yeah. So I was going to be the smallest professional boxer in the world. I would have been, and I was pro. Basically, long story short, I went with a manager who was not a very honest guy. I won't mention his name, and I was training like a madman, and he at the time, Frank Maloney, was sort of promoting me, but there was no contract, but he was going to put me on his shows. And my manager was going, "Oh yeah, you're on this show," and I'd train like a madman, and I'd be sparring people, and I'd be sparring British champions, European champions, and then he'd go, "Oh no, you've been pulled off that show, you're on a different show." So basically, he was lying, and I got very tired, and then one of the big shows I was supposed to be on, I got loads of press off loads of national papers, and I was on Sky Sports, and I was gonna fight. It was in Stoke, and I went, and then we boxing, if people don't know, it's all about the weight you are. So I was gonna box at 8 stone. So we said if the guy comes in, he's gonna be under 8 stone too, because I was gonna be under 8 stone anyway, but the weight limit. And the kid came in at 8 stone 7. Oh,
it's a monster.
And the British Boxing Board said we're not going to have it, and we're not going to do it. And I still wanted to fight, and they said it wasn't going to happen. So that was sad for me, because there was loads of press around. It was nothing to do with me. It was just the kid weighed in too heavy. So at that point, I'd been training for nearly a year, like a madman, again, because I wanted to prove. Because I was basically going to be a novelty act, which I knew, but that was my selling point. So I wanted to prove that I'm a novelty act, but I'm going to show everyone that I can fight.
It's one of those things. It's almost like the marketing is sound, but you're like, look, the product is pretty fucking good. So however I get them into the seats, I don't care.
You can say I'm the smallest boxer in the world. That's cool.
Let's bring them in.
And you'll see me fight, and I'll rip heads off. But that's what I wanted to show. And then, I just got to the point when I was that fatigued, and my body was that tired. I just stopped, and I didn't box for about 6-7 months. And and then I got opportunities if I wanted to fight again, but I sort of fell out of love with it, and I was getting older, and I was like.
And how does this relate with timescale wise with the stunts? You were doing this before you.
So I'd done a bit of boxing before, and then to train to get on the stunt register, I'd done Thai boxing, and then I got on the register, and then in Liverpool, my parents' place, there was a boxing gym that opened not far from there. I'm just gonna be.
Oh, it's disgusting. You should smell that. It is
turn away from the mic.
absolutely awful. Actually, yeah, you did turn away from the mic. And just to remind you, just keep speaking straight into it.
Okay.
Paul's a very active talker,
Yes.
but it means his face
I'm
is
really I'm almost beating the mic.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
So and then when I went back to Liverpool, at my parents' place, there was a boxing gym really close. So I then got more involved in boxing, and then just started to box loads. So it was I was still training and I was still working. So I remember amateur. I remember I was working on the first Batman film, and I remember doing a scene with Michael Caine.
Oh, that early Batman, that kind of Batman.
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
So and I was doing a scene with Michael Caine, and then I remember finishing the scene and driving home and having an amateur fight. Mm-hmm. And so I was amateur for a while, and then obviously turned pro. So, and that was the other thing. It was like I was putting that much effort into boxing, being a pro, and I was turning work down because I was training or should be fighting, and it wouldn't happen. I was like, I need to concentrate on one. So I just said I'll just give the boxing a miss. So even though I was pro and had my pro license, and I didn't actually box, which is a shame. Even just to box once would have been great, but you know what? It's like it wasn't down to me. It was down to people being dishonest.
I've got to be honest. The economy of choosing to fight you is a terrible one for anyone bigger than you. You know, because your options are: one, you win, and everyone's like, yeah, but you're that much bigger than the guy you should have won. Or B, you lose, and everyone's like, fucking hell, that guy smashed you up. And I've seen your boxing. Yeah. It's sound, you know.
One of the guys he interviewed me beforehand, and he said, because the funny thing was, this kid who I was going to fight, Carl King, his name was. He was a Welsh kid. He was actually a foot taller. So I'm 4'8". He was 5'8". And this guy who interviewed me on the radio, and he said, "Oh, how do you feel boxing someone who's a foot taller?" And I, "What do you mean?" He said, "Does it worry you?" And I was like, "Doesn't worry me." I said, "Because all my boxing career,
you had to close that
sparring
distance, right? Yeah.
with anyone, they've all been taller." I said, and I can spar people who are tall and who are a foot and a half taller if I want. He should be worried because he'll never have sparred anyone or boxed anyone who's a foot taller or to be as strong or as ferocious as I am, because he won't. So it's not for me to be worried, it's for him. And the guy was like, actually, that's a good point.
Speaking of the Thai training, you've just come back from Thailand, right?
Yes.
How long are you there?
2 weeks.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
I feel like you're there forever.
No, 2 weeks.
Roger's just on his way there now.
Yeah.
And they're just training?
Yeah, so a friend of mine was over there. So I was supposed to be going away filming in Dubai, and it didn't happen. So I had a bit of time, so I thought I'll go to Thailand. And then, because I Thai boxed originally years ago to get on the register. And I always used to say, oh, I'd love to go to Thailand and go to like a Thai boxing gym. So
and you've never done that?
No.
Oh, man.
And I'd been to Thailand before, but so I went, and then I found a cool little gym. And so I just train every day in this gym. So I'd have some private lessons, which was nice. Because I hadn't actually, for probably 10, 11 years, I'd never kicked a bag. I'd never thrown an elbow or knee. So obviously to throw kicks and like it was just weird. It was good, but it was weird. Like the flexibility had gone.
Oh, it's something else. Yeah.
Technique was still okay, but it's not as good. I know what I was doing, but it's just trying to do it.
Also, it's so dynamic, the Thai kicking. Yeah. Like it's so dynamic. If your body's not firing at all the same times, so much energy.
I can stand in the bag for 3 minutes and throw punch wise because boxing, because I train all the time boxing, and I can do it. To throw a few kicks, I'd be like, I can't.
But you see it in the UFC all the time. When guys are gassing, you stop seeing the flashy kicks, pretty choppers. They go back to boxing.
But I'm not even talking about flashy kicks. I'm talking about like little low kicks. I do like two, and I think, fuck, I'll just do kick my hands and I'll just like...
but I mean, you get shredded choppers, right?
But it's nice because when I train in Liverpool in my gym, I wear like, a t-shirt, a top,
you wear
a sweat top.
Yeah, you wear the whole boxing.
Yeah, because it's good then, because I get nice and warm and I enjoy that. So in Thailand, I was
Tops
training.
Off. Classic.
And also I was training during the day, so the gym was empty. So no one was there. So it's not as if I'm taking
it's too hot for them.
Yeah. No, well, actually, they have like periods where the classes train first thing in the morning, and they have all afternoon off and train in the evening. So the afternoon, they just private lessons. So I was just going, so I would do a private lesson, and some days just go and train and just train myself. So I was there, and I didn't feel like you're not going to take your top off in Liverpool because you'll get your head punched in. Yeah. But in Thailand, everyone trained.
Noted, because that's one of my faves.
Yeah. I'd punch your head in if it's it. But so I could take my top off, and I'd feel like it's just weird for me.
Wait, you should have put some photos on Instagram or something with your top off.
It's not
your thing.
It's not me.
It's not your thing.
I mean, your thing is to it. No, I've done it. You know the amount of stick.
Have you? I haven't noticed.
You know the amount of stick I got for it. It was like
the one at the pool.
Which one in the pool?
The one you next
There
to the
must
pool.
be numerous ones in the pool.
Yeah, there were quite a few, but there was one you had got the timing just right, you know?
Well, that's called self-timer, and that's called no one's around, and I can take a photograph, look at it.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. Me abs don't look good enough, so I'll do it again. That's what that was.
It's the lighting. I tell you what.
But people have what gets me. Fat people have a go. Yeah, I go, how dare you? And I think I'll train twice a day.
Yeah, mate, show it.
And I'm proper, full on, and I'm in Thailand. Do you want me to take photos in a woolly jumper?
Mate, you do what you want. Look, you know I'm a big fan. I think people should
do
do what they want.
you know how many birds send my DMs?
Really?
Yes.
So, right, there's
maybe
naughty
one,
things.
One or two women.
Oh, right, wait, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Mainly incorrect.
Loads of men slide in.
Yeah, guys don't care. Guys do not give a fuck.
No.
Yeah, I love Thailand for that.
What, for men sliding DMs?
Yes. Oh, you said DMs. I thought you said inside them.
No.
No, I for that reason, with the lighting, is so important when you get those photos taken. James O'Daly, the man is touched by God when it comes to be able to find the perfect light on holiday for a group photo.
So
I swear to God.
Saying about his physique then?
That too.
Trying to say he hasn't got a physique, it's all about the light.
He's in great shape. But sometimes the guy's not even in good shape, but we'll be on holiday. He finds himself in the right side of the light. Yeah. So when you get a group photo, he looks ripped as fuck. And even if you're in better shape, you look fat.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. And he knows it. And he every time he sees it, he's like, got it. I'm like, how? The guy knows. He's touched to be able to do it.
It's a talent.
Your training, where was it in Thailand? Wasn't in Phuket, was it?
So I was in Phuket, and the famous one is
Tiger. Muay Thai. Yeah, that's where we went.
But where we were staying was like about 45-minute drive on a bike away. And I got a bike, so I was actually training in a place called Sutai.
Wasn't it Hawaii? Was it?
No, I forget the name of the place. I put my phone away, otherwise I'd get my phone
Good.
out.
Yeah. No, you're not having that. Yeah.
So yeah, it was basically like 45 minutes away, but it was a cool little place.
It's cool, right? Like it's good food. Like it's just nice weather.
But it was weird. Hopefully the guy is not going to listen to this because it was some young tiger.
I mean, if he does, I'll be amazed.
So obviously I boxed every day and I do pads and stuff. So I booked to do a private lesson with this Thai guy, and I get in, and this Thai guy is treating me like I have never boxed before. Yeah. And you know when you do pads, I'm now holding my hands up people as if I'm holding pads. But you're supposed to meet a little bit, and there's an art to doing it. He was being lazy and wouldn't meet me.
Oh, and then hyperextend your elbow horribly.
And he stopped me and he said, and he went, when you punch, you need to straighten your arm. And I said, no. You need to hold the pads properly. And he looked at me and I said, I box for a long time. You need to actually... And I showed him, and he sort of looked at me and like, oh shit, he maybe knows I was doing it. And near the end, he was fine. He was like, oh, you were very good. And a guy come over to me when I was on the bag, and he was like, would you like to fight? This is one of the guys who must like own the place. And I was like, sorry. And he was like, I've been watching you. You're very strong. Would you like to fight? And I was like, no, I'm okay. And he's like, but we'll get you in. It'll be like a young lad and you'll fight. And I was like, no. I'm on holiday. No,
those guys
train. I was like,
you got to watch out for them too, because we went to PB with Mark Slaughter.
Yeah.
Mark Slaughter's a tall guy.
Yeah.
At that point, he was quite skinny.
Yeah.
And he was kind of ill. And we go to this bar where you get free drinks if you fight. So he walks in, they clock him straight away.
I don't even mean that kind of bar. I mean,
no, I know, in propping the place, yeah. But in general, you got to be careful who they want you to fight, because they'll be like, oh yeah, it'll be a good matchup. So these guys are like, yeah, we've got someone roughly the same weight, same height as you. I go, okay, I'll go see Mark. Mark's like, I don't know if I want to do this. I go see this guy. He looked like fucking Drago. He was a massive Russian guy who was kind of shadow boxing on a steel girder. And I was like, Mark, you don't want this fight, my friend. You definitely don't want this fight. Because maybe the same height, but huge.
Yeah.
And all the other fights were terrible in the ring, as you imagine. So everyone thinks they're a bit tough. Goes in there. They've got like a massive statue of Bob Marley as a TIE fighter. So Bob Marley's head, a TIE fighter's
Where's
body.
Where's this? In Phuket?
In PP Island.
Oh, I've been?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's madness in there. People kick the shit out of each other.
Just sat there watching.
Some of the worst fighting you ever see. And it's so funny. You watch people warm up and you're like, okay, this guy looks super confident. He must know what he's doing. And he gets in there and you go, oh dear Lord, he's fucked.
Yeah.
He's in so much trouble. So yeah. And before we get too distracted about all of this, we were talking about how you got into stunts. I want to talk a little bit about what you remember about us meeting for the first time. Do you recall?
It was at an airport. So
no, it's not.
No, it was a stunt ball.
Okay,
yeah. So
maybe.
So Doug's trying to be a smart ass now.
Oh shit.
So you're trying to catch me out. So the first time I met Douglas, stunts, we have this thing every year or every other year now. It's the stunt ball. So it's around Christmas time, and I remember walking in. and someone introduced me to Doug, or Doug introduced himself, and that was the first time I met Doug. So Doug's now going to say another time, but the first time was actually Stuntball.
Well, look, I've got 10th of October 2013. That's what I've been able to dig up. And if that was before the Stuntball, then that was the first time. Maybe it was after.
Why have you got a date down? Why would you know a date?
I know the date because I remember I took a photo that day.
No, so what you've done is you've gone onto your phone, found a photograph.
But it's not of us. But I remember that. I remember what happened. It was, instead of me spoiling it, I'm going to pass you what I recall, okay, which has got your lines in it. So obviously you said you've done a little bit of acting. So I've given you your lines. They're highlighted there. I'll prompt you when you need to come in.
Okay.
10th of October 2013. And I'll just read it as if it's a script.
And you're going to tell me when I come in?
Yeah, I'll point at you. I'll give you the direction.
Do I do my Paul L? Do I do it in my own accent?
Yeah, that's actually why I've done it, because I always tell the story and it's just not nearly as funny when I try to do your accent, because I do a terrible Scouse accent. Don't pre-read them. I don't want to spoil it. I can see what you're doing there.
Is that all me, this big long part?
Yeah, that one. Yes. That is good. This is how it happens in my head anyway. So this is just kind of a fantasy to actually relive it properly. Okay, low light interior, W stage, Pinewood backlot. Last day of shooting week of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. David Grant steps outside to get some air. Doug Robson follows closely, as he has done most of the film. They're both blinded by the remarkable sunny autumn day that ambushes them as they open the stage door. 3, 2, 1, action! A boat rocks violently side to side, and 3 Egyptian peasants struggle to get their balance. Action, Croc! A 5-meter crocodile breaches the water, and the peasants react in fear. Cut! We can see their wetsuits. They're going to have to take them off. Dave Grant lights up a cigarette, careful not to let Riley see. The 3 peasants now walk towards Dave and Doug. A muscular-looking child shouts,
Davey G! You alright, our kid?
Yeah, all good, mate. How you doing? That's David.
No, so if I'm going to do it in my accent, you need to do it in David's accent.
Yeah,
so you said...
David doesn't really have a British accent.
He doesn't have your accent.
All good,
so
mate.
Let's go again.
Okay.
Davey G! You alright, our kid?
All good, mate. How are you doing?
That's an awful accent. I'll just carry on a minute.
Yeah.
Living the dream. That water's fucking freezing. We gotta go in it. I swear to God. I got an ice cream headache when we toe went in. I didn't say that. I got an ice cream headache when we toe in. And now we've got to take off the fucking wetsuit. But I've got these hairy legs, don't I? So they want to shave my legs. But you know what? If they're going to take me wetsuit and they're worried about realism, then you can shave everything. Balls. Coin
purse.
Coin purse, arsehole. I don't even know what that means, so I definitely didn't say that.
Yeah. Paul bends over, emulating spreading his cheeks. Back to you.
They can get right up then and then shave me fucking arsehole. Are you alright? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Doug, by the way.
Anyway, our kid, I gotta go shave my arsehole.
Paul triumphantly strides away like a cowboy into the sunset. What a guy.
Is that really the first time?
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't the first time because it was definitely... So I can remember that day. Because I remember we were all freezing and you kept walking past in your jackets. So I do remember. Jackets
and we were in the warm tank.
Yeah, U stage. And I remember, guys.
U stage, not W stage. That's it.
U stage. So a funnier thing to that story is, so I did have to shave my legs, and so obviously because no one can see this, so I've got very hairy legs,
ridiculously hairy.
Yes,
I mean between you and Lenny, there may be some correlation between height and hair.
Possibly. I think I might win against Lenny, but so anyway, I was shaving my legs and quite high up towards my ass. So I got where you get like your boxer shorts and you put them up your ass crack to roll them up, messing around. So I got doing that, and I was standing like on some chair, looking at myself in a mirror doing it in like one of the makeup mirrors, and the makeup girl took a photograph of it. I didn't know. Then she showed me.
Oh, didn't she send it to you?
Yes. So I said to her, "Oh, do me a favor, can you send it to me?" And she went, "Yeah, I will." So later on, I went to her and I said, "I didn't get that photograph." She went, "I sent it to you." And I went, "You never."
Oh my god.
She checked the phone and she went, "Oh shit!" And she sent it to a wrong number, and someone had wrote to her, "What's this?" So someone somewhere got a photograph of some little short ass shaving her ass.
Lucky guy or girl.
Yeah.
Did you slide the photo?
I don't know. I might have.
Have a little look, because I think that would be a great resource to have on the podcast here.
Okay,
I'll put
so
it.
I will look.
In the notes.
I should have it, and I will look, and then we can put it on.
Because after that, of course, we both went to Spain.
Yeah.
On Exodus.
Yes.
I think we solidified our friendship there under
with another stuntman, James Cox.
James Cox. What a guy.
Yeah.
What a guy. Just had his baby.
Yes.
Proud of him and Katie. I feel like Katie did a lot more of the work than he did there.
She did a bit more.
And he probably did the more enjoyable part, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Was he there? Did he get there? Was he
I don't know.
Pokemon Go?
I don't know.
I know he's addicted to Pokemon Go.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some weird stuff, man.
Yeah,
He's Coxey's an interesting guy.
I've got to be very careful what I say, because no doubt he'll be on this podcast.
Oh, he will. And he is a sharp...
And he loves the podcast as
What
well.
I like about him is that he... I like to play for the crowd.
Yeah.
So when I say funny stuff, I want to make sure everyone heard.
Yeah.
He says stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes people hear, sometimes people don't. But if you hear that little nugget from him, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, just so everyone knows in this podcast as well, they're like twins. So Doug and James are quite close. Like, literally to the point where 3 Christmases on the run.
Oh, yeah, we did spend a lot of time together.
So Doug obviously is from Africa.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a whole continent, but...
Where are you from?
Botswana. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay. And so a lot of the time, obviously, Christmas, Doug will go over to James's or like his family's, and I'd be in Liverpool. So I'd get these photographs that they recreate of like Doug and James with matching jumpers on.
Great stuff.
By the fire, looking like, and then another photograph opening presents, and this went on for like 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, we enjoyed...
They found it hilarious.
Yeah,
so much.
I've got to be honest. Taking the photos is some of my favorite part of Christmas.
Yeah.
Us sleeping together, reading... Katie maybe reading us Christmas carols.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah.
That was all great. So, yeah, we'd solidify our friendship there. We realized James hates my type and my choice of music.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand...
Yeah, we have very similar taste. Yeah.
So at Exodus would start crazy o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'd always have one headphone in. I'd like to have music playing. Paul would always come over, put it in, and he'd be like, "Oh my god, churches love this band, too sweet." We're like pop princesses.
Yeah.
We fucking love.
I like anything. A good song.
A lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Someone like Coxey, we have huge falling out.
He's a snob.
Oh, he is.
Like Spice Girls and All Saints. That kind of. I'm not really into that kind of stuff.
Oh man, I know. It's just so obvious with his choice of music. Our Venn diagram music. Us is very similar. Him is very different.
Yes.
And then we came very close. But then there was a moment, Paul.
Oh yes, there was the camel moment. Yes,
Poogate.
Do you want to tell a story or should I?
Well, I think we should both. So we get
my
to
version and your version.
Yeah, exactly.
Or are they both the same?
Who knows?
Yeah, okay.
Who knows? Okay. So
I'll tell my version first.
Apparently, you're gonna tell it first.
Yeah,
all right. Is this your fucking podcast now? Is it?
Well, I'm the guest, and I feel like I
ahead.
need a bit of respect.
Go ahead.
I'm on a podcast. I ain't got no name.
Also, you're a coordinator now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a stunt
Big
coordinator
star.
now.
Yeah. Big deal, guys.
So I'm on a podcast that hasn't even got a name. So I'm doing you big favors.
Yeah, it's exciting. You know what I mean?
Well.
It's like a baby. It doesn't have a name yet, but you got a baby.
Okay. Anyway, so we on set. We were in the sea and we were like messing around, and with the Exodus obviously has a lot of animals and like a lot of goats and stuff.
Also, just to give context, Exodus is about Moses leading his people out of Egypt.
So there's a lot,
and now they crossing rivers and seas and stuff with all the animals.
So there's a lot. And there's loads of things we had to do. So this one, I think we were there for like 3 days. This one day we're in the water and we're all have to like, as if we walk through the water. And he was like, so every day we had these animals with us, and there was these 2 camels. So on this one day, it was the camels were getting pulled to the water as well. So I like a little joke, and James Cox and Doug does. So you look for any opportunity on set to do something, whether it be splash someone. So camels, when they poo, it's like little small ollies. And I don't know who threw one. I remember. Probably Doug threw it at me first. But anyway, so he threw poo, a little ball of poo at my head. And genuinely, I found it hilarious. And even now thinking of it, it makes me giggle because it's just funny because it's just a little tiny bit of camel poo. So you'd look at it, you get a camel poo, and then I'd throw them at Doug. Doug would throw at me. James Cox would throw camel poo. We'd have a laugh. So then I'm standing there, mind my own business. And Doug, I didn't know this was behind me. He tries to stick the camel poo in my mouth. From behind me, literally.
I can't hear the audience laughing, but I bet they are fucking hosing themselves. That's a great joke.
So throwing little ollies, throwing little ollies of camel poo to me was quite funny. I found it hilarious. Getting camel shit in my mouth, not so much. Over to you, Doug.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I remember who you started. You started throwing it first. You're the terror. Yeah, you're the terror. So you were throwing it, and I was like, fuck it. And it was funny. Yeah. It was funny. We all having it.
Because it's quite hard poo, by the way.
And it comes and pops on your head, and you'll be looking at one of you.
Yeah. And people around us thought it was hilarious as well.
You've been up since 4:30. Yeah. The Bulgarians not quite sure how to take it. We just got to know those guys at that point.
Yeah.
And
throwing shit wasn't really
little more serious.
English humor.
Some may say more professional, but they didn't think that there was. They were like, "What the hell are these guys up to?" So after Paula got me a few times, and we'll have to bring in Chloe Bruce at some point because I believe she was an eyewitness.
Doug is a better shot than me, just so everyone knows.
But I didn't come behind him and put it in his mouth. I kind of gave it a throw, but just from a much closer distance. I was much closer.
Bollocks.
And it hit the tip of his mouth. If I'm not mistaken. It didn't go in your mouth. It went on the tip of your mouth.
Doug was behind me. So when anyone wants to, when you're a kid and you go behind someone and you have something in your hand and you try to shove it into someone's mouth, that's what Doug's now saying. He threw it from behind.
I threw it from a look. There was separation. There was separation. Anyway, look.
Yeah, okay.
However it happened,
we're gonna fall out.
It was the falling out of what would you say? 2 weeks?
No.
Week. It was
literally about 2 days.
I actually remember the makeup point was you buying
in a shop?
sneakers. Yes.
Doug came over to me. He was
I was like, mate,
come over, gonna apologise. I'm like, listen, and I even said to you, I said, I find it really hilarious. I've got to say, it's funny. Throwing the poo is funny. Sticking diseased camel shit in my mouth, it's not funny. And he's
look,
like,
I'm gonna put up a poll later. We decide which one's funnier afterwards. I thought in the mouth maybe even a triumph.
If you put a poll, James Cox is just gonna keep going on it and just pressing. It's funny because now
he's gonna enjoy it. In fact, I wonder if based on that, when he comes in, he's gonna bring cow poo. Like he's the guy he's that resourceful. We had that birthday. We had like a get well party for Marky.
Yeah.
He managed to source some poo balloons. Like the emoji of poo.
Really?
Yeah, found those.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it? He's that guy. He'll go that far.
Yeah.
He definitely dives deep for his.
Well, hopefully he won't try and shove it in your mouth.
Yeah, that wouldn't be funny.
Yeah.
That would not be funny.
But we made up.
We did. It was good. I mean, that's what happens with friendships. It gets tested.
Most evenings, with me, you, Coxie, would then go out and we'd go to get steak.
Yeah. Don't want to bring everyone because Bill takes fucking ages when you got 20 people.
We don't want to anyway because some people annoy you when you go away. You know what I mean? Some people really piss you off and you're like, I can't even stand to look at them, never mind.
So just to give you context, also, again, we've been in Spain at this point a couple of months, right? And we didn't know when we were going home. You all staying in one hotel.
Yeah.
So you're there with 60, 70 stuntmen?
Yeah.
It was as many as that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot.
We had a great time, though.
Well, I remember I had a great time because Rob Inch, who was the stunt coordinator.
Big shout out. This guy knows what he's doing. He'll be on the next one.
Hey, Rob, no. And then, so I was over there just to be a kid running around. They had a few of us.
Great wigs.
Yeah, so a lot of it was didn't need the kids. So I remember you would be in every day most days I'd have off. And I'd be like,
yes.
Yeah, and I'd just be chilling. What are you doing today? I don't know. I'm going to go out and do something. And
actually,
So for me, it was a great because I got a lot of time off.
And there was great pool. Yeah. Great pool. We were in that luxury hotel. It was far away from the main in El Maria.
We went to the Canary Islands and I was in a hotel room which was infested with cockroaches.
Oh, not so good.
Yeah.
Not so good. Speaking of which, Dan Houston went back to the Canary Islands recently and he got the triple dream. There's a well-known stunt joke that when you get to the hotel or wherever you're staying, you always come downstairs and you go, oh, the rooms are all right. Yeah. Not sure about the jacuzzi. And that's kind of the jokes that someone reacts and goes, what? You got a jacuzzi?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an old joke. We do it over and over again because we're idiots.
Yeah.
Dan Houston goes to Canary Islands, again with Rob Inch. He gets a room with a jacuzzi. Unbelievable. I was like, this motherfucker. And he's that guy. Things like that happen to Dan Houston a lot.
Well, about 3 times I've been away and I've got a disabled room. And at first I thought it was just because I'm by coincidence. But now I'm thinking, maybe they see me and think I need to have a disabled room. It's got when I was in...
A step ladder to the toilet.
When we went back on Exodus, we went back for a week. Mm-hmm. And my room was literally massive, but the bed was almost on the floor. It was a disabled room. But maybe they just look at me and think because he's a little disabled room.
I think Lewis always takes the disabled room, like on Thrones. He always takes the disabled room because he's like, fuck, it's much better, much bigger. Look, Paul, I need to take a piss, which is totally unprofessional, but you're going to have to tell a story or something while I go. Should I tee you up for something? Why don't you start telling us about Dumbo? All right. So you've obviously it's coming out soon. It's coming out this Friday. Did you watch it on the weekend? Did you watch Cast and Crew?
Cast and Crew, yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately I was working, so I couldn't. But tell us all about it. Tell us about your experience doing it. And I know you want to get this out. Did you Dumbo? Are you Dumbo?
Well, okay, so I'll speak a little about it. Have a quick piss though, Doug. Don't leave me here hanging for a long time. So basically, yeah, I worked on Dumbo. I'm a massive Tim Burton fan. I have been for years. My first sort of film I used to watch continuously over and over was Pee Wee Herman, and he directed that. And obviously, then you go on to Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice. So And then when I was like 16 or 17, I read a book about him. So I've always been a big fan. And then we worked with him on Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and we done the whole film. And then when he come to do Dumbo, then he asked for the same sort of team. Rowley Earlham was the stunt coordinator, and he had the whole team of people. And then they wanted me to. So Dumbo in this, obviously, it's not a real elephant with massive ears. It's a CGI elephant. So the way they wanted to do it was to have someone to play Dumbo, to be in like a costume or suit, like a green suit.
Do you want another Diet Coke?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Thank you. In the suit, and they wanted someone there to be obviously on set every day in the suit to be Dumbo. And at first it was going to be me, but then they realised that Danny DeVito was in the film, so I was Danny DeVito's stunt double. Plus there's kids in the film, so I couldn't actually be on set all day every day.
I was going to crack a joke that you were doubling him. So you actually did double.
Yeah, I was his double, and he was going to do, there was one little stunty thing he was going to do, so I had a costume for me, but they changed it, so I didn't actually have to, I met him, and, you know, I'd done safety for him, but I didn't have to do anything for him.
Legend, right?
Yeah.
I mean, big cost on that. Massive cost.
Yeah.
Tim Burton always gets them in.
Yeah, he's amazing, but even just like, I mean, for me, the novelty is never lost on me to seeing Tim Burton or to see him, like, say good morning to me or know my name, because I was a massive fan. But then to see these kind of people, you know, one of the reasons I became an actor, because people used to say to me, oh, you're little, you're never going to be able to do anything. I was like, Danny DeVito can do it. Or people say, what do you want to be like? And I'd be saying, I'd love to have a career like Danny DeVito. So then to be working with him and speak to him, it was like,
I think it's so impressive for guys like that, you know. The same with Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
Because they transcend their size.
Yeah.
You don't see them as their size anymore.
No.
Peter Dinklage, I just see as a good actor.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito, I just see as a good actor.
Yeah.
And that's testimony to the fact that your limitations don't define you. You can be good at something, and if you get good enough at something, no one fucking cares.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's I love seeing stuff like that. People that make it despite their looks. Even the girl that plays Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah.
I've forgotten her name now.
No.
The tall one that Mark's doubles.
Yeah.
Same thing. It couldn't have been easy.
Yeah.
She's not a Hollywood starless, you know. She's not this gorgeous woman that walks in. She's a big girl.
Yeah, but now because of it, she is.
Yeah, and which exactly
And even
it's
fashion, she does loads of fashion stuff.
yeah, because she's transcended herself.
Yeah.
Like, it's very impressive. So anyway, yes.
So yeah, to go back to so then you suddenly realised that actually I couldn't be on set just standing there in the suit, like being like a reference for the actors. So another guy, Ed Osmond, who you probably know anyway,
Yeah.
he's a real cool guy.
Handsome Paul Lowe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eh?
Isn't that what we call him? Handsome Paul Lowe?
Him?
Ed. Yeah.
No, I'm handsome Paul Lowe. He's just
Okay,
little Ed
sorry,
Osmond.
I get confused.
Yeah, he's little Ed Osmond. So then you got Ed in. So and Ed, I've done stuff with Ed before. And Ed was actually Ed basically plays the Dumbo. So when he's doing the acting stuff or as a reference to the kids, Ed is doing all that. And I done bits of that. Most of my stuff is when like anything physical Dumbo had to do. I'm looking and talking weird because like Doug is coming over and touching my mic. So Ed done all that kind of acting stuff. He was on set all day, every day, doing all them bits of the actors, or if he had to walk to a certain place. And then I got to double Dumbo when he's doing more of the action stuff. Like, I don't want to give it away, but there's some stuff in the circus he has to do, like physical stuff. I think it's on one of the trailers where he's rolling down the cart. So it's just me in a green suit doing it, and then they'd film me, and then obviously take me out and put Dumbo in. Some stuff near the end. So that's odd, but yeah, I was like basically just a double for Dumbo.
Yeah, unusual, all right, cool thing to put on the...
Yeah, it's cool, and it is, because, you know, we didn't actually use it, but we had to use a suit. So a basic, like, a suit.
Of Dumbo?
You get in and you walk around like an elephant suit. I've got a little video of it. I can't use it, but I can show you privately. But we had to look at it and see what we could do and change it. So me, Ed, and the people worked together on how it was comfortable. Literally, your head would be down, and you have like little sort of video... like little screens
you got like
for your
a
eyes.
feed into your eyes.
And then it would be the camera would be looking straight out. It was really cool. It was a good little suit, but we didn't actually use that.
It's always the case, right? The amount of things they put money into in movies, and you don't.
Well,
you've
got to, because
you've got
for
it.
Tim Burton, because he's like the way he is. If he asks for something, they want it to be ready.
So, do you think it's going to be as dark of a movie as so many of us are rather?
No, I've seen it. So I've obviously seen it. It is dark, in the sense that Dumbo is quite a... He gets taken away from his mum, and so they have to play on that. But I guess it's not as dark as the cartoon.
Yeah, well, this is the funny thing. Classic Disney movies, man, they are terrifying.
And I think, and back then, they could do... You know, there were certain things they could do, and now because they want to aim things at kids, things a little bit more sort of light, I think. But listen, it's Tim Burton, it definitely is, and you can see the way it's done.
got his signature all over it, right?
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, it is stunning. It's an amazing film. The cast is amazing. I walked out. So, obviously on set every day, Ed was doing his thing, and I'd do little bits and bobs, but Dumbo was a CGI character, and the film basically hangs on Dumbo looking like a real little elephant. And when you see it, it looks amazing. Little Dumbo looks amazing.
Yeah.
And his eyes, like, a few times I was watching it, and you feel like choked
like an
up.
emotional connection.
Yeah,
with
because
it
is, because it looks beautiful. He is a little character, like the way he makes noises, the
whimpers and stuff.
Yeah,
like
they
that.
have like his vision. The way they've done it is really nice, but his eyes, it sells. And yeah, so as a film, it's not as dark, I guess, as the cartoon was, but it's still a good film. I think it's a good film. I might be slightly biased.
Yeah, a couple of things I want to touch on with that, which remind me to come back to. One is the CG, which I think is important, especially for our industry. But the other thing is, what is the parable behind Dumbo? I don't know if you're familiar with Jordan Peterson, but he's got a whole lecture series dissecting Disney films about what is the actual story. Excuse me. So many of the Disney films we watch as kids, and they are mental. You think of Pinocchio. What's another good example? Snow White, Hansel and Gretel. Those are mental ideas that as children we watch and we're like, yeah, that makes sense. And his point, and Carl Jung was the same. They believe that there's archetypes, there's certain stories, certain motifs that come up through these stories that we resonate because they are inherent in us. We understand them without even knowing we understand them. So when Pinocchio's father gets swallowed by the whale and he goes down, swims into the whale's mouth and rescues his father, we just go, yeah, that makes sense. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why are people turning into donkeys? So Jordan Peterson's got this great thing of showing us what those analogies are for. The fact that as the son of your father, you can resurrect your father by doing his good deeds, by learning the things he tried to teach you, and then resurrecting him through your actions. You live on as your father. So the little things like that. Dumbo, I couldn't remember well enough. What is is the story that we shouldn't be mean to people because they can, but I think everyone's got something special? I can't remember particularly.
Well, I think the bigger picture is, and that's Tim Burton has touched on it as well. He's an outsider, so he's different. So the whole thing with Dumbo is because it's not giving nothing away, but it's this little baby elephant with big ears who can fly, and so he's seen. So he's seen as an outsider, and it's how people treat him, and then he becomes like this thing for the circus because he's like this, this freak, I guess, what people think it is. And then the bigger story is then, because in this film there's a circus troupe who travel with him, and they guess they're seen as outsiders, and it's that story of acceptance, and it's how they stick together and
finding their tribe.
Yeah, and I don't want to give it away, but it's,
for sure.
But there's that whole thing of like you can just be who you are and be accepted, and the world is a bigger place, and everyone has their own sort of place in it. And
no, I can see that. Yeah, like I said, I just couldn't remember enough. It's old enough movie that I remember watching it, but I can't remember what it was about.
Yeah.
But again, that's kind of a motif that
it's strange
can resonate
because it was
with.
when I was a kid. I've got a cousin. He was handicapped, and he used to watch films over and over and over. And when we go to his house, we used to sit there all the time, and we watched Dumbo. As it was one of them films that for years growing up, I always used to watch it. Go to his house, and he'd always put it on. So it was funny then to be on it.
Yeah, it's funny
and like around. So on Dumbo, one of the famous little things in Dumbo is like the scene where all these firemen are doing this routine in the circus, and then I'm on set one day, and there's all actors and stuntmen and circus performers dressed up as the firemen doing that same scene.
That wasn't in Cardington, was it?
No, that bit was in Pinewood.
Okay.
So we filmed at Cardington with this massive, amazing set.
I mean, tell them about that, because that's a little part that I did, and I was amazed that even though we're using CG in this, they wanted to use a lot of real life set, right?
Yeah. So the thing with Tim is, it was on everything I've done 2 films now with Tim. He likes a set to be a set. He likes it to be what it is. And Cardington is this massive building where they used to have like airships years ago. A lot of films go there now. We've done Batman there and Pan there because it's a massive space. So we basically built in the film, Dumbo goes to this other circus, and it's this huge circus. So they had like this whole sort of walkway with all rides on either side, and like they had like half of a roller coaster built.
That was it, yeah, on the side.
And the big entrance,
the Mysterio area.
And then at the very end, you walk into like the top hat, and you think, oh, this will be a set, and you walk through into a massive big circus space at the end of that. Like, it's huge.
Like a functioning one.
Yeah.
Like they had the arena for the horses to ride around.
If anyone listening to this now goes to the film, when they're in the circus and they walk out to that circus bit at the end of the film and they come out and it's like the wooden sort of boardwalk, it's called. That's actually the way it was. You come out and that was there. It was huge.
Yeah.
And then I guess it allows for Tim to film wherever he wants to film, but also the actors to feel like it's not a separation. It's like, it is what it is.
Yeah, and I think it's so much easier to, I mean, even as someone who works on films where there's a lot of CG, it's a lot more fun reacting to real things than it is imagining things, you know?
But it goes in stages, because when I first thought, my first film I did was in 2000, and it was The Mummy Returns, and I remember walking on set and I was blown away because it was like, they built sets.
Yeah.
You'd walk on it, it'd be like this big mummy's tomb, and it was amazing. Like, you'd be seeing things, or you go somewhere else, it'd be like a massive big train on the set and something else. And then it went away from that. You walk onto a set and it'd be a little bit and loads of green.
Yeah.
But now I feel like...
And the green is headache material, right?
Or blue, whatever they want to use. Yeah. But now it feels like they are going back to trying to build a set.
Well, I think it looks cooler. I mean, I don't know where it's going to head, but I personally appreciate a set.
Yeah.
Like Thrones is another one.
Yeah.
They're building that entire city.
Yeah.
It's so incredible. And I always say the department, I think, gets it right every single movie, no matter which one I've been on. Scripts can be good or they can be bad.
Yeah.
Same with stunts, same with directors. Set deck.
Yeah.
The guys that build those sets,
they
smash it every fucking time.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast, we built our own village, a French village.
Yeah.
And it looks like real everything.
Well, we done a film. I just said before, Pan. So it was a fun film to work on. It didn't do that well, but we were in Cardington, and I promise you, to the size of Cardington, they built what's it called, Neverland?
Yeah.
Yeah, they built Neverland.
No, where the Lost Boys.
Yeah,
there's Neverland. Yeah, you're right.
They built Neverland in Cardington.
Getting confusing with the Michael Jackson documentary.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh no. This is so you walk into Cardington and it was literally a living forest. They were watering the plants and the trees. They built it. It was that, what to begin with. It was that big and huge. You get lost. Like,
oh shit.
Yeah. Did you work on it?
No, not Pan. No.
Okay. So you'd walk in and it was a living forest, and it was obviously they had, you know, where he lives and blah blah blah. But you'd walk into the forest, you get lost.
Yeah,
at the end,
cool,
you'd sort of know the route, but that's how big it was. And for me, that was amazing, because we'd rehearse, and then we had the stunt base, and then sometimes they'd go, oh, you need to stay because they got to do this at the end. So people would go, and then I'd just finish off whatever it was. And then a few times, I'd just walk through the set on my own. There'd be no one else there, and I'd just walk through, and I'd take it all in, because I've done it for a long time. But one, I know that eventually it'll get ripped up, and it'll go. And two, it's like, them moments, they're nice moments, because the film might be a massive success, or it might be, you know, be in the bargain bucket in ours there, but you'll never be able to live that again. So you need to take it in sometimes. It's like, you'll do it as well yourself. Sometimes I walk onto a set and you'll take it for granted, but you've got to step back and sometimes think, I can't take it for granted, because like, this is amazing. Yeah.
No, for sure. I think that's good advice for anything you do. Yeah. Like, those moments are fleeting.
But then, I'm not giving that away, but on Game of Thrones, remember that the director said, it was the producers at the very end, he done a big speech and he said, I now suggest that you all go off on your own and find a little corner and just stand there for a minute and look at this set and look at what we've done, because you'll never get this again. Yeah. And I did. I've done it twice. I literally went out and done it when he said, and then when it was empty, I went and done it again, because I was like, I want to take it all in, because I want to appreciate what this is and what we've done.
No, I mean, there's no denying. We're very fortunate. You get to see parts of the world you wouldn't dream of saying. And some parts of the world you wouldn't want to go, but then you end up there and you're like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then also working with people that may not, well, of course, they're not going to be around forever. Neither are you. And you've got to take those moments in. And it's easy to get a bit jaded in this industry, for sure. There's something about the long hours that I think grind you down. And it's hard to remember why you do it. And for me, definitely the people have always been why you do it. Yeah. Like, we turn, you know, being in a whole sea of water with camel poo into a game. Yeah. You know, and that's the nature of the people we're with.
But when I got into this, I didn't get into it for the money. I obviously want to earn money, because I've got I've got to pay for my living.
But a tiny little mortgage, by the way, in Rain Hill.
Yeah, in a nice place. But it's one of them things where I didn't think, I want to be a stuntman because I'm going to get paid loads of money. I wanted to be a stuntman because it was a real cool, fun job. So that's why when I'm on set and I'm doing stuff, I want to enjoy myself and enjoy what I'm doing. That's the whole point. It's like the friends you make. Not everyone you work with, you're going to get on well, but you make them good connections, then people make a job. I don't go on a job and go, that job was amazing because I got to film in such and such place. I'll go on a job and go, that job was amazing because then people made it amazing.
Yeah.
And then together we enjoyed. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's the classic case. You can be in a shithole and you're with a good crew. You're like, oh, fuck, this is well fun. Yeah. And the same with the night shoots on Thrones.
Yeah.
A hard work. There is something about working in extreme conditions like that force people closer.
Yeah.
And like you say, you may not get along with everyone even outside of work, but for that moment, you've got that shared experience.
Yeah. It's the camaraderie, though. That's what you like.
It is. It's exactly that. And that's
I think
quite
not
nice.
just in the film industry, I think any industry. If you get to work with good people, that makes it. You know yourself. If you get a list of like, you got to be on this job, Doug.
It's when you see the call sheet.
You look at the call sheet. You see someone, you go, oh yes, get it, so and so. Yeah.
I haven't seen him for a while. Yeah.
And that's good. That's what you want it to be. You know, and that's what you look forward to. You get on a different job and like you go, oh yeah, it's like, say man, you're on a core team. You're on a core team. So core teams, people who are listening don't know, it means if you're doing a film, you'll be at a core team means that you're on the whole run. And then sometimes other stuntmen will just come in maybe for a day or 2 days or 2 weeks. So if you're on a core team, the same group of people, which is good, and then it's cool because then your friends come in for like 2 weeks, and you're like, and you get excited to be with them.
You're
for
like,
them.
oh, they're there for these 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like and that's what's good about this job as well. Is like you might not be with the same people all the time for long runs, but you still bump into them.
Yeah, it is. It's lovely like that, and that's why those occasions like Davey Holmes' cricket thing is good to bring people, because there is that weird thing where you can fall out of cadence with other people where you've got your friends that you just never seem to work with. Yeah. You know, you'll go years without seeing them. You'll be like, fuck, when last did I see you?
But it's making the whole effort thing. And I guess I'm bad because I live in Liverpool. And so I made a conscious decision, So I never bought a place in London or moved to London. I just come down for work because I want to go home. And Liverpool's my home and I love it. And that's where my friends are. But obviously as time goes on, you get more friends and you build close relationships with people in London. So I do find I spend a lot of time in London and Liverpool. But, you know, it's hard then because you work on a film. For instance, I worked on Dumbo for 9 months. I'm going to burp again.
Jesus, this guy.
I worked on Dumbo for 9 months and you're working with like a small core team. And then you don't see them for a while. But then like David Grant, Davey G, he was on Dumbo with us and then on Game of Thrones for a while. And I haven't seen him for maybe 2 months, 3 months. And then I just met up with him the other day. So it's nice. So you do have them relationships. You might not see people for a long time, but if you do make the effort and you can still see people.
Yeah, because that is the thing. When you film, it's so all-consuming that it's quite easy to lose those relationships with people and to sometimes, you know, not see them and just think, oh, I'm so busy at the moment. But you need to maintain those relationships for sure. What I like, though, is a lot of the stunt guys you work with, it's very much like a brotherly relationship where you may not see each other for years, but when you see each other, you kind of pick it up from where you left off. Yeah, you know, which is such a nice thing. Because
I guess, and this industry is a strange industry because you do things and you're. So for instance, you're doing a stunt and I'm doing your safety, so I'm looking after your safety. So there's a different kind of bond there. If I'm getting set on fire and you're doing my fire safety, you're going to put me out, but you're going to put yourself in danger. Yeah. So there's a different sort of bond. It's like, I guess army people or whatever will have a similar bond.
Firefighters, like, I think, sometimes
it's like looking after someone, knowing that someone's there for you, like knowing that, you know, I've had people when I've been in danger who've done something and helped me in the stunt game and stopped me from taking a spank, and I'd like to think that I've do that for someone else.
Yeah, for sure.
So to know that there's people there who look out for you or sort of care about you in a bigger sense, not just like, oh.
And you know what? So again, to circle back to the Jordan Peterson chat, is that his whole premise on life is that we've spent the last 20 years or so focused on rights. Yeah. I have the right to do this. I can do that. I can do that. It's all about us, you know. Our phones are called iPhones. Yeah. When we watch YouTube or Netflix, we get to watch what we want when we want. Yeah. And he's saying the real answer to happiness or leading a happy life isn't finding how many rights you can have. It's finding responsibilities. Yeah. And there is something you feel tremendously honored when someone asks you to do their fire safety. Because that means they don't just trust you and respect you. They put their life in your hands for a moment. You know, and that means the world to you. You know, and you take it seriously. Like, God, that person wants to do that with me. Yeah. I'll happily take a lick or get on fire if it means I have to save him. You know, and you see that concentration on people when they do fire safety. And I feel quite passionate about stunt guys doing each other's safety for that reason, because we know what it's like to be on the other side. When you're in that mask and you're like, I hope he's on his way.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's that again, and even fire safety, but it can be even something as simple as you're out working and it's really hot, you're doing something, and the guy who's not doing that will run over to you and go, Louise, anything you need, do you want a drink or whatever? It just, even something simple as that, people have always got your back and are there for you on a different level. Not just in like, I'm at work, I've got to do this. Like, as in going above and beyond what they should be doing.
Yeah, no, for sure. It helps, and that's why the team is so important. And someone, I think, like Rowley is so specific about the team he brings in.
Yeah.
At some level, the people you bring in are going to be of a similar skill level.
Yeah.
So at that point, you differentiate by who do I want around?
Yeah.
Who on a hard day is going to be beneficial to be around?
Yeah.
Is not going to moan. Who's going to help?
Well, again, it's being a team player on every level. In our job, we do things like we were saying before. You got to go away. You could be away for. I went away on my first shows for 4 months in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm away for 4 months in a hotel in Mexico with the same people, you've all got to get on.
Yeah.
And it's being a team player getting on. It's even if like sometimes I want to do this. If you're with a group of people and you've got to go, okay, well for instance, I can talk a lot, and when I was in Mexico, I was young. I'd want to get in the bus in the morning and talk. Well, I'm with these older guys who wants to sleep, so I've got to go. Actually, I need to shut up and be considerate of these other people because they need to sleep. I need. So it's just being a team player. It's understanding where you fit in and what you do and what you can try and help someone, or if you have to do something, or that's part of it. If you can't be a team player, if you're selfish, you're not going to work. You're not going to. You're not going to get called to go and do a 5-month run somewhere if you're not a team player, because you might be the best stuntman in the world. If you can't be a good person beyond that, then there's no need for you.
Yeah, there's definitely that disconnect. Have you noticed a difference then from when you started to what it's like now?
Is it team player or just?
Well, just in general, like the performers that are around, the way the industry works, or has it pretty much been the same?
No, I think it's changed. I think it's changed, but they've all been gradual. One of the biggest things now is because of social media. So everyone has got Instagram, everyone has got Twitter, and everyone wants to be the star player on it.
Yeah.
So, we're all guilty of it, but I became a stuntman before Twitter, before any of them, before Facebook. So for me, it wasn't a label of being a stuntman. Even like now, people say, what you do? I hate saying I'm a stuntman. One, because I'm 4'8", so it looks like I'm lying.
Yeah, and in general, it sounds a bit like you're being a dick.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that it being like dinner parties where people go around, I'm an accountant, I work here.
Yeah.
And as soon as you say it, you can see people going like, what a motherfucker, you didn't have to say that. But you can see all the dudes hating you.
But now it feels like people get into being a stuntman because the tag of being a stuntman is really cool. Which, okay, it is.
It is, yeah.
But for being a stuntman, you have to be a stuntman. You have to do stunts. A lot of stuntmen now get on, and you know yourself, there'll be big calls, and you could be on a film for 3 months and not do a stunt.
There's a whole career you could build.
When I first got on, I'd be travelling to Wales to work on Casualty or whatever it was. I'd be coming to London to work on The Bill. I'd be something else. That'd be in a week, and I'd be doing a stair fall, a car knockdown, something else. So I was always doing a range of stunts. You were always going somewhere and doing stunts. There was a lot more TV as well then, and stunts on TV. But it seemed like we were always busy doing things, so I done a lot of stunts early on. But now it seems like people will get on, and there's not, because there's a lot more stuntmen. 2, there's a lot more work, but a lot of that work is like
big calls.
Yeah, and it's diffused.
Armies,
it's not like oh, we need 20 men. It's like we need 20 men to be army men running, and 2 people might fall over.
Yeah,
that's stunt work, but it's not.
It's like
it's not
insurance policies for the people.
So a lot of stuntmen now will build themselves up and be all big deal, but they haven't actually done stunts, and I feel, I might be wrong in saying this, but I feel like a lot of people get on for the wrong reasons.
But I mean, that's coming back to what I was saying about the obsession with I. Yeah. It's that same thing, and that's where our world is leading right now, and that's what's interesting about the Jordan Peterson thing, is that the responsibility actually makes you have to care about someone else.
Yeah.
And that's what brings you fulfillment.
Yeah.
It's kind of an addiction.
Yeah.
It's serving yourself. and in the end, you only end up alone, and no one wants to end up alone.
And people want to, and this is more now as well. People want to run before they can walk. Everyone now is a fight choreographer. I mean, so I fight, and I've fought for years, like Thai boxing, boxing. I don't call myself a fight choreographer, but that's not my label. I'm a stuntman. You get people who've just got on the register, and they do some martial arts, and they're a fight arranger, a fight choreographer, and it's like, to be honest, you're not, because you haven't even been on set. You need, if you're saying that means you've got the confidence to go on set with two main actors who could be superstars, and you've got to show them what to do or rehearse with them, and you've got to be able to come on. You can't do that. There's actually fight choreographers and fight coordinators we both know who are really good, but they've got that through years and years of hard work
and experience.
Yeah. And it's like, and people want to say there's something before they're actually anything.
Yeah, it's that we live in a weird world like that, because that's what the industry is. That's the premise.
Yeah.
You know, same with actors. It's all about the hype.
Yeah.
You know, the difference is we're one of those few jobs where if you're lying about how good you are,
caught out.
It's dangerous too.
Yeah.
You know, if I hire a window cleaner,
yeah,
and he says he's the fucking best window cleaner in Surbiton, he's never been beaten, and there'll be no window ever cleaned as well as he does, and he comes and does a shit job, I've got a dirty window, that's all. If someone says they're a coordinator when they're not, they've got years of experience, they've done this, and this, and you know, they'll look after the set. If they're wrong and you're the one on the end of the line, really bad things happen.
Yeah.
Really, really bad things.
But,
and that's the danger.
But I've had phone call. I've had lots of phone calls, and I've been offered jobs, and I've had to turn down because I can't do them. One stands out. I got a phone call from a stunt coordinator, and he was, I need you to do a high fall. And I was like, okay. And he was like, it's like 60 foot, but you've got to go backwards. And I have to say, I can't do that. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I can do high falls. The highest fall I've done is like 45 foot. 60 foot is a big difference. I didn't do high diving. And then if you want me to do a simple, like just go over and like go over my back, but you want me to go over backwards, I can't control that. And this guy, this stunt coordinator, said, no, you'll be fine. And I have to say to him, no, I'm telling you, I won't be fine. I'm not confident doing it. So I don't want to do it and then hurt myself and make myself look bad and injure myself and make you look bad. I'm saying you should look for someone else who can actually do the job. And I had to give him names of the people who could possibly do it. But it's having the confidence to go.
I was going to say, that's exactly what it is. There's a level of confidence.
But it doesn't mean I'm scared to do it. I've done everything. But I know I can't do that job, because if I try and do it, because one, for the money, that's the wrong reason. And two, because I want to be all big deal, I can injure myself. And I've got friends who've injured themselves, and that's not what I want to do.
I was actually going to just touch on that, because you said you were in Thailand anyway, and I wondered how much of that has played a role, because the person I'm going to bring up, I don't even know personally.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what happened, but he's always been at the back of my mind whenever I've done stunts as the parable of how things can go really, really wrong. So do you want to tell us a bit about who David Holmes is?
Yeah, so we're talking about my friend David Holmes. So David Holmes is a stuntman who... he was the Harry Potter stunt double. Which
is interesting, because you were saying you got offered that role and you ended up not doing it.
Yeah. So then Dave obviously was the Potter double, and he went on for years and done it, and then he had an accident on set which broke his neck, and then he's obviously that I think it was 7 years ago, maybe a bit more. But so he broke his neck, and so he's in a wheelchair the rest of his life.
And how old was he at the time?
I'm not sure age wise.
20s?
23, 24 I think maybe. So now obviously he lives in a wheelchair. His life has changed. His life is very, very different from what it used to be like. But so I remember, I was working on Potter at the time, off and on, and it was the day it happened. It was all in the news, and I woke up to like messages, because they were just saying a small stuntman on Harry Potter's been injured. So I was getting messages myself, say, like, just in case people thought it was me, like friends. So it obviously wasn't me. I was phoning people. I eventually found out it was David, found out what happened. I went to see Dave in the hospital, and he was laying in bed. And I'm not going to go into things, but so like I said before, I always thought I wanted to show I was tough, and I had this weird thing in my head that I couldn't be hurt, as in like I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm just tough, and I always secretly looked at Dave as being like tougher than me, because he was always like, he was a gymnast, he was really strong. So when I seen Dave laying there, and obviously it was like 2 days after his accident, and I knew that He'd told me what had gone on in his situation, and at that point in time, I was like, I questioned being a stuntman.
Mm-hmm.
I really did, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do it, like, because I think I can't be hurt.
Yeah.
But yet someone like Dave, who's stronger than me, is broke his neck. So obviously over time, but so going back to it, basically, I made a conscious effort now. I do make a conscious effort that whenever I'm doing something, if I'm concerned or worried, then I'll address it. And I've done it. Where if I don't feel comfortable, then I'll speak about it and say it. I'll try and make it as safe as I can, because I don't want to be put in a situation that Dave's in.
Yeah.
So
sure.
if I don't understand something, or if I'm concerned, I'll voice my concern, and I justify it by thinking of Dave. And like you just said, then I've done stunts myself, and because I now know that I can get injured, or now know that I could be in a similar situation if I'm not safe, you think about things, and you do sort of think about risk, and it changes how you work, and it changes how, I guess, you approach things, because I'm not as gung-ho as I was, because things can go wrong, and it might not be me, it might be someone else. So you have to almost know the science behind stunts, behind rigging, so you can understand it, because you don't want to put yourself in a position like Dave's in now.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it's that confidence thing, though, because it's hard to understand if you haven't been in that situation. When there's a coordinator, your boss ahead of you, that dynamic between boss and stunt person is a difficult line to toe.
Especially when you're young and
When
you
you're
first
new,
got on. You don't
for
want to
sure.
say no to anything.
Yeah,
and you
you
don't want
want-
to question anything, because you don't really know about it anyway.
Yeah, so you don't know and if they say it's safe, it's safe.
Yeah.
You have to have the confidence to go. Yeah, and like you said, it's probably more interesting for you because you've seen Dave before and afterwards.
Yeah.
I've only ever known Dave as being hurt, so it must rattle you. It's the equivalent of when one of your parents dies.
Yeah.
You don't think about death until it's very close to you, and then you're like, fuck, that thing, that very scary thing that always lived over there is now very close.
Yeah.
And it happens to people that are close to me, and that changes your mindset, I'm sure, and similar to what's happened with Dave. And for me, that's why I'm quite passionate, and I never liked the argument on set when people go, oh, you stunt guys, you guys paid loads, what are you worried about? You don't have to do anything. And it took me a while to articulate in my head why it made me so angry. And it made me angry because every other department, for the most part, comes to work, they know they're going home the same way they arrived.
Yeah.
There's no chance that someone in those departments is going to get called upon to do something that may change their life forever. It's very, very small. Unless there's a big accident on set where something falls on them. For us, that's not part of the deal.
Yeah.
At any point, you come in for a job where you're supposed to be doing Dumbo and you're supposed to just stand on a pillar. That may change very quickly too. Now you have to jump off the pillar.
Yeah.
Now you have to do it on fire. Now you have to do it and land here. That's not the guarantee we're given.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, that's why that exists.
Well,
that discrepancy.
Yeah, but we're stuntmen, so our job is to take a risk. But like you just said, Dave left that morning and he kissed his girlfriend. Goodbye, I'll see you later. Well, he never walked back in the house. And that's down, and if you want to, in real term, that's down to a producer getting a shot. That's what, when you're making a film, a producer's producing a film.
I see what you're saying. When you're saying, what is this for?
Yeah, so you're risking your life. So a director and a producer can make this film and put it out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's a
the reference is, it's mad when you say it like
you think about, like, so for instance, you could be standing there and you could be going, oh shit, this is gonna hurt. I could break my neck, or I could break my arm. But you're only doing that to get
a few seconds, if that,
on film. So surely there's a way around that. And that's what I was saying before, is like, now I'm more open to speaking about things, and like, I'm not going to tell a stunt coordinator what should be done, but if I'm doing something and I think it can be done safer, or if I think, I need a mat there, I'll voice it.
I've always liked that. Dave Grant is one of the guys I've seen that does it well, and I'm sure you do it too, is when you're the one that's not on the line, you're the one that suggests the mat.
Yeah, 100%.
Because when you're on the line, it's a tricky, you got so much to think about, for one.
Yeah.
For two, you don't want to look like a pussy.
Yeah.
So when the guy on the ground, who doesn't think you may need that mat, says it anyway and takes it on himself, and then even sometimes when the coordinator says no, puts it in there anyway.
Yeah.
that's that same thing you were saying about looking after each other.
But it's like, it's having them friends, but also if you got a good coordinator, the coordinator, like Rowley Earnham will say, listen, let's just put a mat in anyway, just in case. And
yeah, for what it buys you. For one, like logistically, you don't want to hurt your guy.
Yeah.
Because now the guy that's rehearsed it can't do it.
But I've got friends who've been doing stunts and they'll go, Lowy, and I go, yeah, and they go, do us a favour, just grab that mat and pull it over there. And I go, okay. And as in like, so they're saying it to me, so it's not a big deal, but I'll grab another mat and put it somewhere. Because sometimes, like, you don't want to make a big deal and go, I want another mat, I want something else there. But if you can speak to your friends and it can just be done quite quietly and someone else can put, or just cover that rock with whatever, like, or just move that, then again, it's a team effort, so you're looking after people.
Yeah, for sure. And especially when you know it's like on the other end. Speaking of which, you mentioned Rowley, and I noticed on Instagram a few days ago, Rowley reposted something about the fact that you had written down, someone asked you a question on Instagram along the lines of, who are the 5 or 4 people?
No, what 3 people do you admire the most?
Yeah, cheers for putting me in there anyway.
I don't really admire you, not really.
Go on, mate.
You admire me. I'm a stunt coordinator.
All right, yeah, you are a stunt coordinator. All right, tell us 3 people. Obviously, a lot of people wouldn't have seen that.
So apart from myself, because I really love myself and really admire myself, because I'm amazing.
Look at you.
The first one I put was Bobby Holland Hanson. He's a friend of mine. He's a very talented stuntman.
Super talented.
People who don't know Bobby, he doubles for everyone, but he's Chris Hemsworth's main double. And the thing that Bobby's doing is actually the tag of stuntman has always been like, we just shut up, we stay behind the scenes, you don't. But he's bringing it out into the open more, so it can be celebrated.
Yeah, he's giving that kudos back to stuntmen. Like,
he gets a lot more press. Chris pushes him for it, and Chris helps him. You know, he's a stuntman. He's my double, but he's like a real cool guy. He's a handsome guy, and that's good for stuntmen because it means that actually that might benefit all of us because we're not just, we are stuntmen.
We're not just bodies for hire.
Yeah. We're talented, and maybe we should be celebrated more. And then what can come of that is obviously then the awards thing with the Oscars because. If we're just all hush, 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 no one speaks about us, then we're not going to be celebrated. So the thing with Bobby is he's actually pushing for us to be...
On the map.
Yeah, to be something. And that's actually a real cool thing, I think. The second person was Davey G. I've known Davey for a long time. And so stunt-wise, my stunt crush, I said he's my stunt crush. He's just, for me, a very talented performer. No matter what he does,
he makes it look good. Yeah. What we were saying before about not just being tough, about making something look cool.
Yeah, but he's just he can do everything, and he loves doing it. Like someone will say, "Oh, tomorrow, Dave, you're doing this, and I'll think, "Fucking hell," and Dave will be like, "Fucking get in," and I look at him and think he loves it.
He lives for it.
He loves it, and plus, you probably know yourself, but he's just a very good human being.
He's that unusual mix of someone who's very talented with being quite humble.
Yeah.
And he's not humble in the way he doesn't know how good he is.
Yeah.
He knows how good he is. He doesn't care that much.
Yeah.
It's not important to him. He's very much about the people. So for sure,
I'll have my opinion, and it happened a few times, and I'll go, I'll say so-and-so, and if Dave will say to me, nah, Paul, to be honest, whatever, but I think you're wrong, and blah, 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 he's probably one of the only people I'll go, okay, if Dave maybe thinks like that, then maybe I should rethink it because I value his opinion. I think he's a good person, you know what I mean? Yeah,
also he doesn't strike me as someone who has a horse in the race each time.
No.
If he says something, it's for the greater good. It's not necessarily for...
Not even in the stunt world, just in life.
We are sucking Dave's dick.
Yeah. But he's got a fat head.
Actually, on Guardians, he had to put on... I was really sad at that point because I was losing my hair. That's when I first noticed it. Actually, Rowley's the first guy to ever notice it. He was up on a ladder.
What, you've got loads of hair there?
Fucking how dare you. How dare you, motherfucker. So he was up on a ladder or something watching us do a rehearsal.
I'm just looking at you.
Yeah. Well, imagine he had this view.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
And he was like, Doug, we're getting quite a lot of bounce back on the light off your head. And I was like, really? I was like, nah. And he showed me. I was like, oh, dear Lord, I'm fucking losing my hair.
I never see anyone on top of the head, but I do see nasal hair. I see a lot of. And you, my friend.
Oh, God.
And then the third one was Rowley Earham. So my first job I done was The Mummy Returns. And the first day I went in for an audition. And there was this little cabin. And Rob Inch was there. Dominic Priest was there, Rowley Earham was there, CC and Gary. And the only 2 people who were nice was CC and Dominic Priest. The rest were just looking at me like I was a piece of shit because I was this little cocky Liverpool kid who'd come in and I was excited. I was talking to stuntmen.
You were?
Yeah, well, I'm not no more. I'm like a real cool.
Okay.
And so I actually, my first opinion of Riley, I was like, he's just a bit of an idiot. He's rude and whatever. But then I've done the moment he turns, didn't speak too much to him. And then we done Legend of Zorro in Mexico together. And me, Riley Earlham and Rob Inch just became really close and like really good friends. And that friendship's always carried on. But I performed a lot with Riley throughout the years. And Riley's then gone on to become a prolific stunt coordinator. And some of the big Game of Thrones, what he's well known for, and some of the biggest sequences on Game of Thrones, like Battle of the Bastards, Bob, the Loot Train, he coordinated them, and because of that, he's then won like lots of awards and like won 3 Emmys.
When you say
back-to-back.
he's won awards, didn't you pick up one of his awards?
No, so what you do is for the Emmys, you have like when you get nominated, you go for a nomination. You go to accept a nomination, and I was in LA and he wasn't. She said, "Go and accept my nomination," which is really cool. But when you realise you have to stand behind a plinth and say a speech, and so what they done was,
you must have loved that.
no. So then they stuck a bucket on the floor. I had to stand on a bucket so I could read over the thing to do the speech. So it's all very embarrassing when you try to be really cool and you stand on a bucket to read Riley's speech.
That is super cool.
Yeah, and then he went on. I was like a lucky charm because he went on to win.
So somehow you've equated him winning all the next Emmys based
because
on
I
you
went on and
up.
made them all laugh. He won the Emmy. And he's won 3 Emmys down, and obviously for this next series that comes out, he could win 3.
Yeah.
And
well, he's had a great team in there.
Could win 4. Sorry, yeah, and he's had an amazing team.
He's a very good team.
Basically, we've won the awards. Doubles. We've won the awards for him.
Yeah,
that's what I'd say. It's basically my award.
It's all of our awards.
Yeah. So I said Riley on that is because he's been a friend and I've seen him go from performer to a stunt coordinator and then obviously to win awards, and actually working with him as you have. He's a nice guy and he's a good guy, and you know, private things on Dumbo. One of my brothers got really sick and he was just very generous to me, and he's just a good guy, and like yourself, you've probably worked for some coordinators who can be quite difficult and don't really care about you and your life, and he isn't like that. And you know, if other stunt coordinators could be a lot like him, I think we'd all benefit.
And just to bring it back around, I mean, he's the coordinator for Dumbo too.
Yeah.
So he runs that unusual mixture of like sheer violence and terror, but then also does something like Dumbo.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff he done on Dumbo is like quite elegant stuff and quite like stuff you wouldn't even think. Like in it, Eva Green, she does a lot of stuff on like an aerial thing,
like an aerial hoop.
Yeah, and a lot of that is down to Riley and like the 3D winch people and doing stuff. So stunts isn't always clash bang wallop.
Yeah.
You know, some of it's quite nice stuff that you wouldn't even realise, and that's down to him. Or other stuff where he was like, well, we shouldn't do this, but we can do this if you want, so we can offer this. You know, even down to like putting a camera on a wire rig to get a cool shot. So he can do a mix of everything.
And what is your next step then? Obviously you mentioned, I don't know if anyone's ever run into you over the last year, but you've let us all know you're a coordinator now. I'm
a stunt coordinator. But your attitude, you probably will be on my next one. I don't know. The thing is so I'm a stunt coordinator, as I'll say again.
Okay, so just to explain to people, stunt coordinator basically means that you get the jobs and then you pick your team. So producers and directors get to meet you. You say, this is what I could do for you on this job. These are the kind of stunts. That's the kind of budget. And I'll hire the people. So you would hire people like me to then be on your job.
Yeah, I wouldn't hire you.
No, but I mean, technically you could hire me. Like, if there was a super good looking main character with a shaved head.
I'll get...
Go on.
Davy G or something.
Oh, you can't get David G, mate.
I was going to say James Coxon, but he's not super good looking.
He's not good looking.
Super good look. I'd have to just get myself to play that part then. If he was super good looking, I'd just wear stilts. No, so I'm a stunt coordinator, but I'm not soft. I'm not going to be stunt coordinating anything for a while. The way it works, I want to learn my trade, and I'm quite a fit 37-year-old. I keep myself in shape.
Fit physically, not looking.
Well, I'm quite gorgeous. And I've got all my hair. Have you got all your?
Fucking hell.
No, you haven't.
We'll edit all this out, don't you worry.
Wait, my hair's grey, but
wait until I edit this out and see what you say about Rowley. Yeah. Unbelievable what I'll mix together.
So I want to perform, and I can perform for a good couple of years. Yeah, I enjoy performing, but in the middle of that, I'd like to do my own, just like days here and there, maybe bits of TV, or if you're working for someone, you can look after sets. I want to learn my trade. When I look at good stunt coordinators who I've worked for, like Riley, like Rob, these are all people who assisted on films, and they were given opportunities. So you're put under pressure, but you have to deal with the pressure. That's what I want to be able to do. So I'm not going to go and be stunt coordinating no big films. I know that, but hopefully down the line in years to come, then I could. It just gives me the opportunity, but I still enjoy performing. I love being on set doing things. That's where my love still lies. But if I can get some days here and there where I can coordinate things, or I can try and have a little bit of responsibility, that's going to help me down the line.
Oh, great. And it's a lovely plug on the podcast if any of you guys are hiring. Paul Lowe.
If any, I'm available for work. I can do...
You've heard all the things he's good at. It's all on here.
You have to go to Little Lowe on Insta.
Yeah. Hey, this is your plug time, mate.
Little Lowe, my website. Go on.
No, go on. Do you have a website?
No, I think I will. I haven't been on it for a while. littlelowe.com.
Look, I'm a little bit concerned about giving your Instagram details, because obviously I'm quite active on Instagram. Yeah. I've been working very hard on my yoga on Instagram,
which is
really and you've
good,
still got more followers, which you always bring up, which really upsets me because you don't do anything.
I'm really funny. One, I'm really funny. Two, I'm really good looking. Three, I've got really good content.
Mm-hmm.
Four, I've had some pictures recently with me top off.
You have done that, actually. Okay, so I'll try that
for the ladies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually genuinely think it is because ages ago when I was
the Hemsworth factor. Come on, that's be in there.
No, so ages ago when I was we done a film Thor Ragnarok when I doubled for Chris Hemsworth. Everyone just
loves that. He loves it.
So and with me and Bobby would do lots of videos, and so I got a lot of followers from that. And I think maybe Chris might have liked some or whatever, and so I got a lot of followers down from Chris Hemsworth.
Actually, to be fair, those videos are very good.
Yeah,
that was well done. You did look like
I'm a very good actor.
Yeah,
that's where my talent lies. I'm an amazing stuntman, but I'm also a very good actor.
You're a very good actor.
Jokes.
I wondered if you could possibly act a little humble.
Nah. Oh, Doug got that written down. Doug just looked at his book then and read that off a book.
Oh my god, it was such a burn. Right, we're gonna have to wrap this up because I got a lot of work to do.
Can't we talk about me more?
We talked a lot about you. I mean, Brad Farmer said the same. He was like, "Look, I am a specialist talking about myself."
I think we all are.
Well, we are. But it's nice to have this forum to at least get it out. But yes, anything else? Do definitely check out at Little Lowe. Is that what it is?
Little Lowe, yeah.
It's
not that exciting, to be honest.
It's not, but this may put a little pressure on you. There will be some topless shots of him next time he goes to Thailand once again. You can abuse him on there just like the rest of us do. Feel free, or be nice. It's just more of a stunt thing. Yeah, be nice. It's something that stunt guys...
You don't have to be rude like Doug all the time. Just be nice.
I'm never rude. Hey,
by the way, can I just say, Doug has got a lot of topless shots on his Instagram as well. And his stories contain a lot. He gets away with it because he says he's doing yoga. Yoga. It's just still a reason for him to take his top off. And I know lots of girls who go, "Oh, that Doug hasn't got an amazing body."
I do.
A lot of people have got amazing bodies. He just all into Instagrams.
Yeah, well, look. Also, the thing is it yoga if you got your top on? Probably not. I think BKS and Iyengar said that.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think he did say that. Spirituality is contaminated by fabric. I've just read that from somewhere right now.
That's just an excuse to get your top off.
Also, an excuse to get on top. Yeah, so check out Lil Lowe, check out his stuff. Be nice to him. I agree. I think there's too much of that in stunts, which we could have talked about too.
Yeah,
it's a bit of an environment where sometimes we can be, but we kind of just check each other out, right? We're kind of just testing each other to see what we got, and if this is someone you want around.
What do you mean? As in what?
As when we give each other shit.
Yeah, but that's part of it. That's what I mean. So for me, anyway, as a kid, especially with three brothers, that's part of it. You have to give shit and be able to take it and to give it.
And you're watching when you give the people shit to how they're reacting. Are they taking it as a joke or they're not?
But that's the kind of people I like to be around. Being from Liverpool, it's the witty thing and trying to have banter. And again, going back to work, it makes a day go quicker because you can all have a laugh.
Yeah.
If you're going to give shit to someone and they're going to get offended by it, it's like, oh, this
which is funny because that's the environment now which people get offended all over the place. They wouldn't last a second.
No.
Will not last a second.
No.
Which, if anyone listening, they'll know of other incidences maybe on set where that has happened, but that's for another time. Anyway, Paul, thank you very much for being here.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much.
First guest. I really liked how it went. Did I press record? No, I didn't.
Look
at that. That was acting too.
And everyone needs to give Doug a name for this podcast.
Yeah, I need a name, so give us a mention. Also, if you want to be on the podcast, make sure you give me a shout out. Open to all sorts of subjects too. So get yourself on here. Hopefully, we'll have more content for you soon. And until next time, take it easy. I need a sign off, Paul. What's my sign off going to be?
I can't even give you one.
God, this guy's been.
I can't even give you one.
Useless. Yeah. Can we do like until next time? Calm down.
That's awful.
Can you do it?
No. No.
All right, fine. Well, that's it from us, guys.
Cheers,
Have a
people.
great rest of your day. We'll speak to you later.